Hey y'all. So I've never really done one of these before. I'm not a religious person. I am a spiritual person, and I'm not one of those like in your face kind of. I'm not preachy. But there's a thing called shoulder taps, and you may have heard of them. But I had one today, and I just wanted to share that. I was over at Walmart, and on my way back to work, you're at a stop sign or a stoplight and you're turning, and then somebody else's light turns green at the same time, and you kind of both go, and, guy kind of wails on his horn, and you're like, oh, sorry, And I was on my way back to work, and so I was in a hurry because I needed to pick something up to eat before I came back to work. Well, I swung into the Carl's Jr. drive-thru, and the guy kind of came in behind me. And I figured, okay, so I'll buy his lunch. Well, he didn't go into the drive-thru, but he did walk into the store, and I saw that there was two people. And when I got up to the drive-thru, I went over and to the speaker, and I said, there's a couple up at the register. I'd like to buy their lunch. And the guy's like, oh, is he wearing this, and is she wearing this? And I was like, I think so. I don't really know. And he said, oh, what are their names? I said, I have no idea. I just cut them off in traffic. I'd like to apologize. I'd like to buy their lunch. And he said, oh, okay, cool. So I'll give you their total when you get up there. And I said, okay. So we pulled around, and it was like $12 and change. I'll do this occasionally. I'll buy coffee or whatever for the person behind me. And I try not to get any recognition for it. And this is not because I did a good thing, because it makes me feel good. But this is basically to tell you guys, if you feel like something is leading you to do this, then do it, because you don't know what impact, what your actions is going to have on people. Because when I did that and I paid for these people's lunch, I had no idea. But this woman actually came out of the store and came up to my car while I was sitting in the drive-thru line. And she said, what is your name? And I told her, and she told me her name. And she said, why did you do that? And I said, well, just because. I said, I didn't want you guys to think that I cut you off in traffic intentionally. I was just trying to do a nice thing. And she said, thank you so much. She said, nobody has ever done that for me before. And I said, well, you're welcome. And she said, I'll light a candle for you at church tonight. And I said, well, thank you. That's very nice. And then she started to cry. And she said, I am going through such a hard time right now. She said, my mother has Alzheimer's, and I just don't know, it's so hard for me. And she said, and when things like this happen, it just makes me cry. And so just the act of me feeling bad for cutting them off in traffic. I mean, even if it was cutting them off because we were both going at the same time, just me going, hey, I want to apologize for that. That made an impact on them, and that made an impact on their day, and possibly more. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Have a good day. Thanks.